Peace, y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Check this out, man. I had a chance to sit and chop it up with Portland-based MC Stevo The Weirdo. And we get into all kinds of stuff, man, including the definition of weirdo. This is going to be a good one. Check out the latest episode, the Klyph Notes podcast. Support for the Klyph Notes podcast comes from Acapella Apparel, an idea born from a love of hip-hop, funk, and soul music and its surrounding cultures. With fashion being a huge visual part of the cultures, they've created expressive images to pay homage, invoke nostalgia, and showcase the elements that make up the lifestyle and cultures of these genres. Acapella, apparel for the music lifestyle. For more information, check out acapella.com. That's AKEPELE.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show you're about to listen to may contain explicit content. So guess what? You need to put them babies to sleep. This is for grown folks only. So we're not held liable for anything you might be offended by. Thank you for listening.
Yes, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Available everywhere you listen to your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, like you know the run. Everywhere. Or, of course, at klyphnotes.com. I got to give a couple shout-outs, man, real quick before we get into it. Once again, shout out to everybody who be rocking with us all over the planet. Once again, Spain be rocking with us super, super hard. Brazil, shout out to Brazil, rocking with us. The UK be rocking with us. Definitely appreciate y'all. So definitely want to just show love to those who be showing love. So big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all, continuing to tune in, continuing to spread the word. Also want to give a personal shout out, a couple personal shout outs, man. I've been thinking about this, man, and I really want to do this more because it's really big when people who just like see the scene, see the stuff that we're doing, and they continue to support and promote and do this, that, and the third. So shout out to my guy Sherbert, who's a producer right here in Portland. Man, that dude be promoting everything that I do. He shares links to the podcast. So big ups to you, homie. Appreciate it, because stuff like that really helps, helps the movement, helps us do what we're trying to do, man. So I just want to show love. You know what they say, man, give me my flowers while I'm alive to smell them. All right, so this one we've been working on for a minute, and it's dope to have this cat in here for a number of reasons. I've been linked with him for a number of years. I've been doing the Welcome to the Neighborhood podcast or radio show for 10 years, and like connected with him several years ago, and then through the years we've kind of stayed connected. He's been a guest on the radio show. We've never really had a chance to sit down and chop it. So I'm excited for this one, man. But before I ramble too much, man, let them know who you are.
Yeah. It's the weirdo. Yo, Stevo The Weirdo, man. I'm glad to be here, man.
How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Like I said, no complaints. I'm good. I'm blessed right now. You feel me?
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, first off, man, thanks for coming through to do this, bro.
Most definitely.
I said before I turned the mics on, I said there's definitely some stuff, because I was listening to the new project that you just released and some stuff that I want to speak to you specifically about, like in terms of when it dropped and this, that, and the third. Yeah. But we're gonna get into more of that, man. But let's get into a little bit of you and your background and how you got started in this and all of that, man. So you rep in Portland right now, but Portland is home for you right now, but that's not the original stomping grounds, right?
Nah. East Atlanta, that's the original, I've been out here, 10 years now, I think, yeah. 10 years. But I rep Portland because a lot of my music identity and when I really made the decision to do it came from Portland. Oh, word. So that's why I show Portland the respect and love I do. And they show me love, so it worked. It worked both ways. But yeah, man, I started this. I started pushing like anybody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had my little mixtapes. I was the dude running up to you after the club, like, yo, what's happening? Like, you ain't even got to buy it. Here, check it out. Listen to it. Put it in your grandma's CD player. Do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, I'm a people person, so I was talking. Yeah. I was already in the clubs and like had that whole entertainment scene kind of on lock, doing the club promoting. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Monique Sorrell. Shout out to A1, Kenny Crush. That was my team. They put me on when I was like 21, right. Fresh in the club. I had all the plugs. But yeah, man, I just took that energy and put it straight into the music. I used to listen to some people on the radio. and be like, yo, I feel like I could do that. Some people I was like, yo, I mean, like, honestly, I was like, yo, I could do that better. Like, I gotta figure this out. But and that's like much respect to like Cool Nuts, Mikey Vegas, Teaspoon, all them. I used to listen to that shit and be like, yo, I want to fuck with these cats. You know what I'm saying? I could cuss on here, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, word, cool. Now I'm gonna be super comfortable.
It's funny, because see, I don't understand. Stevo been on the radio show, and on the radio show, you know what I'm saying, we got to be FCC compliant. But and I be trying to make cats feel comfortable regardless of the situation, but yeah, bro, like you at home, bro.
Cool.
For real. Yeah.
Fuck shit. Damn it. Okay, here we go. But yeah, nah, man, I just used to listen to it, and I got a real love for music, and it was just a grind. It was a constant grind, man, and it still is, but I was like, yo, ain't nobody else gonna push this for me,
right?
Especially not harder than me. So
right.
I was out there with it.
That's what's up, bro. Well, and so when I was on KZME, when I was doing Welcome to the Neighborhood, I got a joint from you. I think you actually sent me a project that you had done. It was at the very least it was a group of songs that you had done. So that's when I first heard your music and was playing your stuff, and have played it through the years. But one of the things to me that's interesting is that, well, two things. But initially it was like, yo, like Stevo he's talented, and in being a curator, I felt like it was sort of it's sort of my responsibility to just stay up on who's doing stuff. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that's interesting to me about you is that when we look back at the music that you've made, the things that you've done, you've been very, very consistent with putting out music, doing shows, this, that, and the third. But it seems like you move, like you just move on the low. That's what it seems like. You know what I'm saying? Like you do stuff and then you be like, oh yeah, Stevo's like, you know what I'm saying? Is that on purpose or is that just like, just the way that it's, you know what I'm saying? Just the way it's been in terms of your making art, not promotions and stuff, just like in terms of your art.
I just kind of be on my own schedule, on my own thing. Yeah. I mean, I guess I do be tapped in or whatever, but I would put a lot of it to, I'm a perfectionist, you know what I'm saying? I like to make sure it's like exactly how I hear it in my head for them to hear it. Yeah. But I don't know, like when it's right, I know it and it's gonna come. Like for example, Wake Up, me and Mike Bogan.
Oh, that's such a joint.
Yo, I love that.
Yeah.
Yo, I had that hook for like, you can ask Zeb this too. Matter of fact, I had like 15 minutes left in the session, and I was like, I was in the big room too at Zeb's spot, and I was like, yo, turn the lights off, just play this beat. I'm gonna just do some random stuff. Came up with the hook, right? I sat on that hook for like a year and a half, 2 years. I was just like, it needs something else, like something ain't there, like we gotta wait for the feature or something like that. I met Mike Bogan at a party. Matter of fact, actually, I reached out to his management or whatever, and then I actually ran into him at a party. Yeah. And we smoked, we kicked it, everything was smooth. Like, it was like, yo, I got something for you, bro. I got something for you.
So wait. So obviously you knew of Mike, but like, so if people listen to your music and they listen to Mike's music, if they get to know, like, even know you guys from a distance just as fans, right? Like, it's the perfect song for the two of you as MCs.
It went like, bro, I'm telling you, everything just fell into place. Everything just fell into place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was love. I enjoyed that. That was a good time.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. So, you know, that idea of just continuing to be thoughtful and mindful when you're making art and making music and putting it out, like you said, when you feel like it's ready. Do you feel like that's had, or what impact do you feel like that's had on your growth, the growth of your audience?
Sometimes I feel like that can actually be a negative thing. I might, just as an artist, and anyone on their craft, you know, who feels this way, you might hold something so long to where it kind of gets, it maybe, not to say irrelevant, but you might feel, I know I felt that way at times, but that's because I've listened to the song 200 times and I'm like, okay, but I got this that's more dope. Right. But everybody who ain't heard that, that's new music, you know what I'm saying? That's a wave. That's something people got to hear. So sometimes I found that it can be negative, but I be on top of my head, on top of myself about that now. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. You gotta make sure that art that you're making makes it out there to the world.
So on that point, one of the things that you do consistently is, so you're on social media. Let folk know what your Instagram is.
Stevo The Weirdo, man. There's one E in Stevo, Stevo The Weirdo.
So but wait, before we go any further, bruh, yo, the name, like, how'd you come up with the name?
All right,
because it's unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is how it happened. When I first started music, it was Stevo Triple SB, right?
Okay.
Triple SB, right?
Oh, word. That's real right there, man. That's tatted up.
Yeah. So Stevo Triple SB, that was smoke, stack, and stunt, bitch.
Yep.
You feel me? Like, that's what it was. It was like, yo, I was young. I was like, nigga, I'm out here winning. Nigga, I'm smoking, get all this money, nigga, stacking all this. Yo, that's... And I remember Klyph Notes, he used to introduce me at shows. He'd be dying laughing. He's like, yo, man, I love this name. But just with growth in time, maturing as a person and an artist, I was like, yo, there's more to my music than just this. There's more to me as a person than just this. Yeah. And I think it's important as an artist to really show the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here trying to fake and do the most for likes or anything like that. Yeah. But I want people to really see who I am. And on a business level, Triple SB, smoke, stack, and stunt, bitch, that's not going to make it in a lot of places that I'm trying to get into. Right. You feel me? Right. I'm missing money with this. So I just looked at all that, rebranded everything, the whole weirdo thing. My thought of weirdo, when people say that, it'd be like, yo, that's different. That's something I don't normally do. Right. Like, not the weirdo, like weirdo kind of shit. You feel me? Because I'm Stevo The Weirdo, but I swear I say weirdo. I be like, this nigga's a weirdo. Yeah. But like on some different shit, like, yo, I'm an individual. Like, I'm doing what the fuck I feel like. I'm doing, or what the fuck I see is best or whatever. Yeah. I'm not following the normal path that, oh, I'm supposed to go to school and get the job. Not knocking that for anybody, but like, you know what I'm saying? The norm of what society tells us we have to fucking do.
Yeah. That's what's up, bro. So as you're sort of moving through the city, making music, doing things here in Portland, growing as an artist, I can remember hitting you up and being like, yo, aren't you affiliated with so-and-so? And you like, nah, I run solo. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Which is cool. But just to a certain degree, kind of different. You know what I mean? Is that just something that, like, you talked about being perfectionist and how you, nah, you good, bro. That's like, it's live, baby. You know what I mean? But that thought, that concept that, like, I roll solo, is that like purposeful? Like, no, I only want to roll solo, or is it just like I'm just moving at my own pace, or what?
I always wanted to be like, from when I saw myself in this, I never saw myself with a group. Yeah. Like, I think one of the best things about any type of art is collaborating. So I love working with people. Right. But at the end of the day, I want to make my own decisions. I don't want to be like one of my favorite groups, Outkast. I don't want to be like,
say that, bro.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Don't get into music with me. Yeah. But I would hate to have a situation where, like, yo, I'm ready to go, but my man's here is on a different page, and it's slowing up any creative process or money. You feel me? Yeah. So and then just like in life, man, I got my family and my friends, but I don't, all that extra stuff, I don't need all that. I keep my circle small. Yeah. Real.
That's what's up, bro. For real. I was giving you a hard time a while ago because it was at least a year ago, maybe a little bit longer. You did a show at the Thesis. So like I said, I mean, I know your music kind of had a sense of you know who you are, but I hadn't seen you perform live yet. And so you hit the stage, and you just went into a joint and was like going in, like on some rap.
When was this now?
This was at least a year ago. It was at the Thesis. And I was like, yeah. And
okay, you want the random thought?
Yeah.
I remember stuff. I don't know how, but I remember stuff by outfits. That's how. But I was wearing that cheetah joint, huh?
Bro, I don't know.
I think so. I think that's the one where
that was the time. That was the first time you brought the bus to the. Did you bring the bus?
The first
No,
time.
You didn't bring the bus. You didn't bring the bus.
Oh, okay.
You didn't bring the bus. That's the time where you was like, hey,
I had the short. Yeah, I had the short hair. I remember that shit.
But at any rate, went in and then you went into your set, which was very different from like that first joint that you hit us over the head with. So the one thing is, it definitely shows your skill set. It shows how versatile you are. You know what I'm saying? As an artist.
That word.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a key word.
Word, absolutely. Absolutely. But bruh, when you on your rapidy rap, I'm like, yeah. Like when you MCing, like I'm like, yeah.
You talking about lunchtime. That's the song.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, where it's just like, can I rap for y'all?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I love that. I love that you have that in you. You know what I'm saying? Just like as an MC, just bars. We also are we're in a time where what people vibe to is a little bit different, and you can go that lane as well, which you did that night. What speaks to you, or is there one or another that speaks to your heart as an artist, or is it that idea of like there's my lane is many different lanes?
Definitely the latter. I have a lane, but my lane is just bigger than, you know what I'm saying, what it's supposed to be. And like I said, or like you said with the versatile thing, like I'm a rapper. I didn't say like when I give my description and I say I make music, I don't be like, oh, I just make this music. I make music. I'm a person. I have ideas. I have feelings about everything, just like everyone else. And I think as an artist who claims to be a lyricist and versatile and I can make good music, I got to be able to put all of that in. And I do it to a range of beats, a range of things we talking about. Sometimes I think a lot of people get caught up on the stoner end, which I love. Shout out to the stoners. The only reason we ain't spoken right now, by the way, is because we are in the studio.
Just trying to be respectful of the space, baby.
Hey, for real. But yeah, man, I like taking it all kinds of ways. Like if you really dive into some of my music, I think you can hear that.
Word up. A point that I was going to bring up a little bit earlier was one of the things that you do is via social media is I feel like you use that vehicle to showcase your skills. So like in your Instagram stories, you just turn on the camera and you just be rhyming and giving, and you know, so doing that, like what's the thought or idea behind doing that?
Back to the holding it to yourself sometimes so much can slow it down. I've done that a lot. So some of that stuff I've sat on for so long, or I've decided I ain't gonna use, but I'm like, but this still hard though. And then sometimes it's just like, I'm really competitive with this, you know? So sometimes I just be like, hey, y'all, just want to post this to let you know if you think you're better than me or not. Hey, yo, but yeah, I like I said, I be on my own head now, so sometimes I'll just throw it out like, yo, y'all like this? Y'all want to hear this? Even though in my head I'm like, oh, y'all gonna get this.
Yeah. Well, and so that's why I asked it that way, because it comes across as a little bit of both. It comes across as like, this is just something I want to kind of get out there, and then this is something I need to get out there just to let you know, like you need to know what's up.
Yeah. I be I guess I see the list sometimes, and I think they so interesting, but the conclusion I've came to, I'd be like, yo, someone sat down, these are opinions. Like, you can never be mad at that type of stuff. Right. But just in case the opinions were because they didn't know, I just got to make sure I let them know.
So, but you know what, though? So that speaks to the point I was making earlier, though, bro. Like everybody knows in the city that my desire, my hope is that I provide a platform for everybody. Like, I'm not connected to any specific clique. If you're first of all, if you're a good human being, if you're making good art, and if you're respectful of the art of hip hop, like, I'm going to give you that platform, right? So I try to rock with everybody. But you're right, we do have an opportunity in Portland to see a lot of familiar names on the lists that come out every year, and it is like, again, thinking about getting to have this conversation with you, I thought about that. It's like, man, your name ain't on that list very often.
Yeah, but I mean, if we being honest, which is always best to be.
Yes, speak to that.
I think Portland is real cliquish, and sometimes I compare it to my hometown. You feel me? And things are just done differently here. Why? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But as an artist, at times I felt the whole crab in the bucket feeling. Yeah. Like everybody trying to get on so much, and you can't put the next man. Like, I'm from somewhere, like, okay, if Stevo the dude, or even let's say me. Let's say Spoon is the man.
Yeah.
Spoon is the man.
Yeah.
We making sure Spoon get on. We as a city, as a group, as a clique of homeboys, whatever, the neighborhood at times, bruh.
Right.
They would all just like go somewhere. Like if it's a cracking event, we all show up. We showing up 30, 40 deep, whatever. We all wearing the same thing. We all promoting the same thing. We all rocking with such and such tonight. And then next week it be somebody else or whatever the plan is. Yeah. But like it's just, I haven't fully understood why, but it's just like real cliquish here and I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting. So when I moved here, 20 some odd years ago, that was one of the things that I noticed about Portland is that there were, you know, whether it's cliques or whether it's just, you know, folk who only mess with people in their circle.
Right.
And it was interesting to me because from the outside looking in, I saw all of this talent in the city and wondered why. So now we're 20 plus years after that.
Definitely progression.
Definitely. I mean, you definitely see people, and whether it's the opportunity for people to connect because the internet is different now than it was 20 years ago, and that's the way that people get together.
Right.
So it's interesting to see that growth. And the cool thing is that there are definitely movements where people are doing that even more. So I got to give a shout out to the folk who have been doing the Portland hip hop meetups, man, the meeting of the minds. Some things came out of that where hopefully we get to see more of that growth, more of that. And it's funny that you describe what you described because in the last meeting, that is exactly one of the things that's one of the ideas that came up. If Stevo's doing a show, we all at the Stevo show. Because if we do that and then somebody comes to the city from outside of Portland, then they see, oh, look at that support the city has for itself.
Interesting thing. We as artists always, and you know, like the faces of the companies, the face of X-Ray, you know what I'm saying, your shows and whatnot. Yeah. We show up, but sometimes, and I've noticed this even with artist to artist, especially, even just using your platform, like, and I'm gonna even talk about myself. Yeah. You look at my timeline. Yeah. How much stuff, or not my timeline, but like my actual timeline on my pictures, the stuff that stays there. Yeah. How many posts do I have of my homeboy stuff that ain't gonna leave? You feel me? Like we could, and I try to be good about it, and like, you know, I throw other people up, and I think we're all guilty of using it on our quick stories. Like, oh, you only get it 24 hours, kind of. Right. But like, if you really just even open your fan base up to it, like all that stuff will come back around. But just so you know, I be getting sidetracked, but
that's a great point though, because those are conversations that I've had, like even like I mentioned at the top, man, there are people who I see, like people who have never been on my radio show, maybe if they're an artist, never played their music, never been on the podcast, whatever, but like who are constantly promoting, yo, tonight, Saturday night, tune in, whatever. Yeah, we do have the opportunity to show love that way. Mm-hmm. And I also think that we don't necessarily understand how valuable that is. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm promoting, like you have a new project, we're about to get into this in a minute. Mm. If I'm constantly promoting that project, you know what I'm saying? And I just happen to be connected with folk outside of the region, people in New York, people in Atlanta, people in, you know, wherever. And they jump on my timeline and they keep seeing this, like, who's this Stevo guy that Klyph keeps posting about? Mm-hmm. Like, what potential may that have for your career? So, I think we all could do a little bit better job at doing that.
Yeah, it's just the what is it, self-analyzation type thing, mm-hmm. or self-awareness. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something we probably all could get better with at any given time. Yeah. But it's a thing to notice and then just use, like, we build all this social media stuff up, use it for your benefit, and then the ones you really care about and fuck with, they benefit. You know
Absolutely. So if people go on your before we get into this, man, speaking of shout outs, let me give another shout out right quick. So I got to give a shout out to folk. I'm running the video right now, so we're gonna see if we can't get this. Shout out to everybody who's checking us out on the YouTube and wherever else I'm gonna post this joint. I got to give a shout out to my folk over at Acapella Apparel. You see me rocking the Hip Hop Boulevard joint right now. This is Acapella Apparel's joint. They've been supporting the podcast for a minute, and so I want to just definitely show them love and encourage y'all to show them love, man. Checking out the website, it's acapella.com, AKEPELE.com. They just celebrated 5 years, just like the Klyph Notes podcast is 5 years old, man. They just released some new merch, super, super dope stuff. Check them out. Follow them on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. Let them know that you heard about them on the Klyph Notes podcast, for real, for real. Going back, speaking about social media, B. So if people go on your social media and they go to your bio, there's a link in your bio that will take them to your latest project.
Yep. That page is actually on my website. That's just a little side page on my website. But
Okay,
yeah, pull up all that stuff.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So the latest project that you released is called?
It's called 15-Minute Break.
Okay. The concept, I know, and you go into it a little bit on the site, but the concept behind that title.
So I wanted to give a short, quick EP before I get ready to do this, or not do this, but drop this album.
Yeah.
And like I was just telling you, some of the beats that I had waited too long to buy or something like that, so they got bought out. But I still had them downloaded, and I reached out to all the producers. I was like, yo, I don't even need to make no money from this. People just need to hear this, and they all heard the music and they was with it. But it was 15 minutes exactly. The length of the project is 15 minutes. But then it just kind of went to the feel of everything, and then I started putting it in along with the artwork as well. I was like, yo, what do I need on a 15-minute break? Like, and you was talking about the dispensary thing, yo, and that was the main job I was thinking, because I could smoke, I could do whatever there. So I was smoking and all that. But I was like, yo, this is all I need on my break. And this is the type of music I would vibe to on a break.
Yeah.
The whole feel of it, the ending progressively back, like, yeah, I'm ready to go now. And on the fast way, like, all that was a part of that thinking.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
The project stuff, the artwork is who did the artwork?
Who did the artwork? Oh, my man Casso De Niro.
Shout out to Casso,
hey,
man.
Yo,
that's the homie.
He always killing it.
Bruh.
Always killing
Bruh.
it.
I'm trying to
Shout
tell you,
out
man.
Alexander Wright.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm calling your government. Cold with these visuals, bro.
Yes. I'm trying to get him on the podcast at some point, man. He did the artwork for Klyph Notes. He's done the artwork for Welcome to the Neighborhood. That's the homie for real.
Yo, for real, he another person. He be like low key, bro. He be like doing his thing. But even in his low keyness, he always show up and support. He always in the building, bro.
Absolutely. So projects out. One of the interesting things that you did is when people to access it, you've made it available on SoundCloud, and you've also made it available on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Those moves to deciding to do it that way versus like a Bandcamp situation. What was the idea? What was the thought behind doing that?
I wanted to beef up the presence on those sites, honestly. So I was like, yo, you want to hear it? You got to go here. But also the legalities part of not owning the beats and not making any money off that, and just making sure everybody was happy, because it wasn't about getting over on the producers or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure they felt comfortable, so everybody came to that agreement. And I was just like, yeah, like definitely on YouTube, because we needed the videos and stuff cleared.
Right.
But yeah, man, it was just to help beef up those sites. This next album, that's gonna be available everywhere.
Oh, word.
Oh yeah, man.
So wait, so you said the album, like it's just you're just waiting to release it. Can you speak on it at all? Like, what we can expect, when we can expect it?
I'll say y'all can expect it sometime in January.
Okay.
Man, it's just me. A lot of growth, a lot of reality, a lot of maturity, I think.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be able to see and feel that in the music.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Up.
I'm like really looking forward to this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing it, man, to having the opportunity to support it. It's funny, bro. Like, as an MC, you definitely nice. But you've always been, and maybe like I'm gonna keep it 100. Maybe it's your Southern upbringings. I don't even know, bro. But you've always been very, to me, you've always been very approachable. You've always approached me, very, very, very cool, very respectfully. Like, the way that you move is just so chill, bro. And sometimes I think, but you balance that with like, but don't come at me on the microphone, because there's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? You have that balance, which I think is cool, just as a human being, as we think about moving through life. So I share where I feel like that perspective comes from, but you tell me where does that come from?
So I guess coming up, especially in the South, when I was looking at all the big dogs, it was a lot of cats, you know what I'm saying? I got my shades on inside, and not even knocking this, but this is just what I came up on. Yeah. And like, I'm too cool for life. Like, yo, as soon as I get off the stage, I'm in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even get to me. I'm the big dog.
Yeah.
I used to be on that. And I used to be on that, and I wasn't. I'd say especially in the line of music, I wasn't anybody. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then I like just start paying attention and shit. I'm just like, yo, the fans are the people who are like taking care of you. The fans are the ones who making sure you straight. Like, why the fuck do I have to just go to the green room when I get done? You know what I'm saying? And I already love dealing with people and stuff. So it was just like, yo, like, people leave comments on your page or whatever.
Yeah.
Takes 2 seconds to respond it. You definitely read it, especially at my level. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't where I see myself being at yet.
Yeah.
So at this level, if I'm taking the time to read it, yeah, hey, bro, appreciate you checking it out.
Right. Right.
And I feel like with those type of things, that's all like building relationships, even if they, you know, small, really minute type things.
Yeah.
Those are the type of things that make people really buy into you as an artist rather than just a song.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, no doubt. Building those relationships, I think they do go a long way in terms of longevity in whatever field that you're in, but I think especially as an artist. I've had conversations with cats on the podcast, man, and I tell them, like, when I had an opportunity to talk to Jumbo, Lifesavers, I was like, man, this is such a treat for me, such a bucket list moment, because I remember when I first came to Portland and I saw them performing at Pohop, and like Jumbo came out the venue and like stopped and chopped it up with me, and you know, I became a fan and have been a fan of his for years. Like, those things, when you're a fan of an artist, man, they go a long way. So big ups to you for having that perspective now at this level of your career, man. I think that's just gonna continue to take you a long way. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that, man.
One of the other things that you do in terms of creating art, bro, is like what you do visually, man. Like the visuals that you put out, bro, are super, super nice. How much when you're putting together a visual associated with a song, how much do you leave that to your like your videographer? How much of that comes from you? Is it just a pure collaborative process? Is it song to song?
Okay. So I have an idea of what I want most of the time. Sometimes it hasn't happened this way, but I'll give it to whoever I'm working with. Big shout out to Corey Fry Visuals. That's my dude. Like, I rock with him hella tough. I think he's done my like last 5 videos, something like that. But he's fucking crazy, bro. Yeah. He did his first music video with me, matter of fact. But wait, back to the original question. Boom, collaborative process. I give them what I think. They're the video person, so they know, like, okay, he likes this, but I can do this, and he don't even know that shit. Yeah. So they put the real thing together, and then we come back, fucking shoot it. They give me the raw. I be like, I'm not feeling this, and that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll switch it out. Boom, masterpiece.
Word.
That's how it go most of the time.
That's what's up.
A few times, some of it has just been, yo, bro, we ain't doing nothing, bro. You got the camera, let's shoot something. Yeah, all right, come on, we gonna walk through the neighborhood and just record me while I rap, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna sit on this chair and you just fucking circle me.
So wait, so that's what you did for Colors? Bruh.
Yo, shout out to Corey Fry. I was like, okay, there's also a mindset to this. Sometimes I feel like things can get so complicated visually. Yeah. And by complicated, I mean there's so much going on. Like, every second and a half, there's fucking a different transition, or just, you know, that's the thing right now. It's a lot going on. And I'm just like, yo, when it's simple but done right and there's still like the artistic aspect to it, I love that. I love when it's chill. Like, I had the whole changing color ideas, and Corey put it to the beat on the little sprinkle. Like, I would have never thought of that. The whole, like, everything about that was super dope. And it took us maybe like 30 minutes to shoot.
Stop it.
Swear.
Word?
Swear.
That's crazy, bro. So y'all need to check out the visual for Colors. It's available everywhere right now. Yeah.
So, wait, real quick before we keep going. Yeah. I got to give a shout out to Kevin from V1 Creative.
Shout out to Kevin, no doubt.
That's my fam. Like, before I met Corey, and even still now, I still fuck with Kev. Yeah. But like, that was one of my favorite people to shoot with.
Yeah.
He understood me hella well. He was just like, I hate being like directly in front of the camera, like, you know what I'm saying, like that, especially with the day-to-day type videos. But he just got it off top, and he just used to film when I wasn't even paying attention, and it just works so well. Shout out to Kev, man. That's my dog.
If you like when you go back to see your people in Atlanta, or like if you go, I don't know, someplace outside of Portland, and people be like, yo, like, what's the Portland scene like? What do you tell them? Like from the perspective of an artist, someone making music, someone connected to the arts community in Portland, like how do you describe the Portland scene, the Portland hip hop scene?
Eclectic. I think, to go back on what I said earlier, because I was like, oh, it's cliquish and da-da-da-da, that sounds negative, but that's also a lot of room for progression. So it's wide open out here at times, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just describe Portland like it's hella hipster, but it's got all kinds of aspects to it. You just got to bounce around. But I love Portland.
Yeah.
Like I fuck with this shit heavy for real.
Yeah.
I feel like Portland's somewhere you can go and just be yourself, and you ain't got to worry about all that extra shit. You could just be yourself.
Yeah. I think that's a great description of the city. And I think that's one of the reasons that you have people in Portland who have a certain who do have a certain lane that they operate in, and they build a fan base off of that, and they definitely have a certain level of success doing that here in the city. Some of the things that are challenged that artists share with me that they feel challenged by being an artist in Portland are things like venues, having a place to perform. Is that something that you've run into?
I don't think it's a problem, because there's definitely shows going out. I feel like sometimes that's a cop-out maybe, because you just got to put in the work. Like I remember I ain't had no manager. I had like myself and my homies, and I was calling, like I was showing up like, what's up, y'all gonna book me this time? Like you know what I'm saying? You gotta hear no however many times to kind of do it. But on the flip side to this, I'm so sick and fucking tired of how they do us as local artists sometimes out here, man.
Speak on that.
These venues and shit, man, I ain't gonna say no goddamn name in particular.
Yeah.
But some of these venues, they like you book an artist like me.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I have a green room? You have a green room available. Do you know who you booked? Like, bro, what are you talking about? We got to smoke off the property? What are you talking about? You just not gonna open the green room for us because you got the headline act, and we just what are you talking about, bro? We live in this city. Portland's like a real passive kind of aggressive place sometimes in that kind of sense of things. Yeah. But like, what if we was somewhere we was like this our city and we don't care about what you talking about, and we like things can get out of hand, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's not like I'm out here with just my video dude. It's like, this my city, bro. Right. I got my people in here. Man, I don't know why they do it. It's so backwards. I'm like, if anything, especially when there's talent, like real talent, and people fucking with it, y'all should be making sure we good. Yeah. We make sure the y'all do y'all part, but we make sure the artist is good as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a full love. But yeah, Portland venues, I appreciate the ones that have taken care of me, because I got some that have shown me like major love. Yeah. But for the ones who are not, and sometimes it falls on the promoters, hey, y'all got to get that together, man. Yeah. Like y'all, especially when y'all out here, getting the newer artists and stuff and having them do all the footwork and selling all these tickets. And man, I remember motherfuckers coming to me, and if we gonna keep it 100, back then I was doing that shit. But go put all this work in, sell these tickets for $25 a head, and then you get $2. Nigga, what? Nigga, what? Wait, what are you doing? What are you bringing to the table then, other than just giving me a spot? I could go rent the spot myself, nigga. I could do all this by myself. Yeah. Like, but yeah, man, that's my feelings.
It's just, it's funny to me. It's funny to me to hear different perspectives on the scene. But I think you're right. It's cool to see how, even with that, the growth in the scene. When I had the opportunity to start doing Mic Check with Star Child, rest in peace, at that time, the Thesis was doing their situation on the regular, and there weren't really a whole lot of other hip-hop shows. And I was talking to somebody recently, and they were asking me, yo, man, what's up with Mic Check? You bringing it back, this, that, and the third? And I was like, like my check it's truly on a hiatus. Like it's not gone. It's just on a hiatus.
Yeah.
But I feel like now the scene is so much more healthy because every single week, sometimes a couple times a week, there's a hip hop show happening in the city, which is really, really cool because that wasn't the case, just 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Facts.
Being an artist in the city, do you feel like do you ever worry about, man, doing shows in Portland, I need to get out of Portland?
I don't worry about it. Not to sound like cocky or anything. I'd be outside of Portland, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
But
okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I hate saying stuff like that about
but
myself.
it's real though. But it's real though.
I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
But I think I remember there was a time where I was like, yo, I need to chill on doing shows in Portland because sometimes the scene is so small and there's only these certain spots that are throwing hip hop shows, and then it feels like you're doing the same show for the same crowd 3 times a week.
Right.
And like, I don't always want to look at it like, oh, this is just lucrative or whatever, but it like burns itself out. You feel me? Like that art will burn itself out if you do it. And I feel like for people with attention spans being as short as they are,
right,
you'll burn yourself out with your fans.
Yeah.
Plus, if I'm a fan, like, especially if you on some new shit, like, damn, bro, I gotta go pay this to see this show 3 times a week, but you just did this show.
Yeah.
It get to be a lot.
Yeah. It's but it's funny though. So then now as we talk about it, I think about it. I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts recently, and listened to a couple podcasts with some comedians, and it really made me think. So from their perspective, like if you're a comedian, you're gonna do your show, and that like this is my set. Mm-hmm. And every time I do my set, it may be a little bit different. I'm working on some new material, but like this is my set. And then as consumers or as fans of those comedians, we kind of know that. Like we kind of know the way their set moves and this and the third. The other thing is, look, bro, I'm an old man. You know what I'm saying? I got wifey at home. Shout out to wifey. I got my 9 to 5. I can't get out the shows like I used to. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you're doing a show and you're performing, like in a month, you're performing 4 times in the city, I may only be able to get to one of those shows because of my schedule. So as I sit and talk about it, I could definitely see the benefit of it. But the point that I was making with that is kind of going back to when I was talking about, like when you're outside the city and people are asking about like what is the Portland scene like. For you as an artist, when you go outside of Portland and perform, looking back at Portland, what do you feel like how Portland, and I hate to say compares, but how Portland compares to the next city in terms of being an artist, working on my craft, growing my craft, having support, this, that, and the third?
I think the support aspect, Portland can always be better. I'm sure anywhere can always be better. Yeah. But and when I say support, I mean more so in the showing up for the shows and the numbers and like that kind of support in particular. But it's so wide open here, so much potential here, and like you said, there's so much fucking talent. It's been like that way for years. Like it's been a lot of motherfucking ways out here. Some of them ain't got heard. Some of them ain't got heard yet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you just gotta like I don't have a lot of friends, I would say, in a bunch of places, but I can go anywhere. You feel me? Yeah. So I'll be at the little EDM party. I'll be at the YG concert. Yeah. I'll be at the Wiz Khalifa joint. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll jump around, and even in doing that with local artists, it's a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Something just gotta happen to bring it together, or you just gotta take the step and go see all that bunch of stuff and hear it. You feel me? So,
and that's cool because I know that people that are in my circle, or people that I'm connected to, I actually see more and more people doing that now. Yeah. People who are working outside of the hip hop circles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that does go a long way in a couple things. I think it goes a long way in growing the art form. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, how many artists do you know who, and maybe you fall into that category as well, who have a certain level of success and have a fan base, and then you talk to me about, I don't really listen to much hip hop. Like I make hip hop, I don't really listen to much hip hop.
Oh, I've heard people like that. I don't have a particular feeling about that. I guess it kind of sound different, but I also understand it, especially not understand that I can get what they're saying. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I listen to some of everything.
Yeah.
But I can't say I see myself at a point ever not listening to hip hop, especially if I'm making hip hop. Yeah, I don't see that happening. But I do listen to a lot of everything. Matter of fact, like coming up, my dad and mom wasn't playing a bunch of rap music around me. I came up on like gospel and R&B and like funk music. Yeah. The rap I was listening to was like Sugar Hill. And, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what's up.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? You speaking my language now, B.
Yeah, man. Like that's what I really came up on. I had to dive into hip hop myself and like get all that shit myself.
Yeah. It's a cliche-ish question, but I think it's a good question to ask for people to really get a sense of who you are as an artist, but then also as a person. Not top 5, but like who do you? I know, but like who do you? Who not even influences, like, but like who speaks to you? Like we talked about Outkast, but like what artists?
I got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
This ain't even in no order, but top fives for this particular segment.
Right.
I got Andre 3000 up there.
Why?
The definition of versatile, bro. Like, and especially if we going on some weirdo shit, I think I'm pretty sure Andre 3000 was one of the first celebrities I ever seen. I was just walking through Atlanta airport and he came through. And this is so many years ago. Like, it's crazy, but I feel like we hit a stage where this was cool again, but he was just wearing a sweatsuit. Nothing matched. He had on different color everythings. But I was like, this nigga still fly. Like, that's Andre 3000. That's the man or whatever. Right. But his music is crazy, bro. Like, Prototype, that's one of my favorites. I don't even get me started on his songs, but he's an artist. Yeah. Visually, sound-wise, collaboration-wise. I mean, you remember when he was jumping on every remix, like back when throw some D's on it. But everything he touched was gold. Right. Which brings me to my next.
Okay.
J. Cole.
Okay, why?
J. Cole's the modern day 3000 in the aspect of anything that I jump on is fucking fire. Fucking fire. Hey, he even said in a lot with 21 Savage, he's like, let me not try to quote that nigga, but he says that in there in that verse, like niggas don't even want to rap with me no more, you know what I'm saying? But I love his vibe in music, real shit. He's still giving you dope ass beats. Like he be dropping knowledge while a motherfucker like clubbing, rocking, drive, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? I like people who use their platform and say something, and he says it like really boldly, and it sounds great still. Word. That's 2. Let's do a throwback. Let's go to Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, still one of my favorite CDs. That's like one of the things that, like when I said I had to dive into rap myself, I dove into Lauryn Hill. I was like, yo, that sounded great too. I'm wildin'.
Yeah.
Much respect. But I love her music, man, and her melodies, like I remember what was the first song or the second song, Lost Ones. I remember like listening to that, like, yo, she's killing this. She been rhyming to the same phrase or word for the whole damn verse. I'm like, yo, that's hard. And I try to keep up with that shit sometime today. So Lauryn Hill definitely. Okay. Wiz Khalifa.
Wow.
Big influence. I remember there was a point I used to listen to that nigga so much that I had to stop listening to that nigga, period. I was like, yo, let me cut this out of my motherfucking diet with this music shit for a while. But just like everybody else, man, like especially with the stoner community, like they were hella relatable and cool cats. I remember watching their videos and shit and like the day-to-day joints or whatever. And I was just like, yo, I feel like I'm the same nigga as these niggas. I was like, these niggas just richer. Like, me and my partners do all the same shit. They went out to eat. They went to fucking Ruth Chris. I just went to McDonald's with my partners. Right. They knocked some bad bitches. We knocked some bad bitches. Motherfucking, like, everything was the same, just different money rate. And I just used to be like, yo, I fuck with these cats. I remember telling my partners, I was like, one day I'm going to fuck with these niggas. I'm going to make some music with these niggas. Like, it's going to happen. And that was a big point when I shout out to DJ Bonix, man.
Word.
DJ motherfucking Bonix. That's my partner. That's one of the coolest, most down-to-earth, real, like he'll do anything if he can to help you people that I've ever met in the industry. Shout out to DJ Bonix. But he plugged me with all them or whatever. I done had some good times with them motherfuckers.
Word.
Yeah. So definitely Wiz them. Shout out to Taylor Gang. Who would I give my 5 to? Benjamin Wavy.
Word. Okay.
Benjamin Wavy.
Okay. Why?
Am I gonna let this out? Yeah, I'm gonna let this out.
Okay.
Here we go.
It's some
This is some exclusive shit. All right. So remember, I told you I hit the point where I was like, yo, I want to say something with my music and show my maturity.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great. I'm not knocking that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still like making this nigga shit. You feel me? Like, I still be, like, I don't give a fuck how mature, but I still be on my fuck shit sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Nigga gonna go out and party with the homeboys or da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And that type of music, I feel like I make well. So instead of just putting it all on the Stevo The Weirdo, I got a whole different music personality. I ain't never even told nobody this. I'm on Spotify, iTunes, everything.
Right now?
Benjamin Wavy. Weirdo. Ooh.
Word?
I swear to God, bro. Benjamin Wavy. It's a whole EP and
Yo,
everything.
that's crazy to me, bro. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. That's what's up.
Second project on the way.
That's
Don't tell
what's up.
Next time you can invite Benjamin Wavy, I'll have him slide.
That's so crazy. Yo, see, that's why y'all listen to the Klyph Notes podcast. For real. All right, so this is the thing that's interesting to me, though. And I didn't really know how to. So when I listen to your music, right, there's definitely that, like, there's this, there's the weirdo aspect, you know what I'm saying? But to me, you are one of those artists that, like, if you really sit and listen, like, not everything that you put out, like, when you really sit and listen to the music that you make, the artists that you mentioned, you talk about artists who were entertainers, but they were saying something, like there's something behind their music. And I feel like we live in a time right now where that's not always the case. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And that takes me back to, again, like I was saying, man, when I seen you at the thesis and I saw you do what you do, and I'm like, like, I love that, man. You know what I'm saying? And as you mentioned, using your platform to say something, I think that's commendable, especially when you look at somebody who has the talent that you have and the direction that you can take that, whatever. But it's like it's like I was saying earlier, man, just the way you carry yourself, the way that you move, I think is huge, bro. And I think that's to be celebrated, because I don't think we celebrate that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we celebrate. Like, yeah, J. Cole gets love, Kendrick gets love, but like not like a lot of other things that we put on pedestals, man. Right. And I think we live in a world right now where I think that you are to be commended for using your platform the way that you do, bro.
I appreciate that, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
I like to think I put some work into trying to do that shit, so I'm glad it's coming across as people hearing that. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta ask, just because of, I don't know if I should ask this, but I ask anyway. So just because of the way that you move, and like you said, in Portland, outside of Portland, recording artist, performing artist, like what's the one story? We got to keep it kind of like, you know what I'm saying? But like the one Stevo The Weirdo artist performance story that's like, yo, this happened.
Okay, so boom. I remember like a month before I seen Hippie Sabotage, and I had got introduced to their music maybe a couple of months before.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this some kind of smooth EDM shit. I was like, let me reach out to them. This is when I'm still doing my own work and, reaching out and whatnot. Let me reach out to them. Never heard back. The day of the concert.
Yeah.
1:00 p.m. Hey, yo, the opener canceled or some shit like that. You feel me? Like, you want to do the show?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't got my DJ together. Like, ain't nothing. I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
What? Yep.
Yeah.
Check. Yep. We there.
Yeah.
Bro, pull up. Sold out show already.
Right.
Shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. Wow, bro. That show was cracking. So, matter of fact, shit went so good, they was like, yo, come on the tour, let's go.
Oh,
fucking
word.
went up to Seattle, fucking what was it, the Soto?
Yeah.
I think that's still one of my biggest shows to this day.
Yeah.
Like that shit was crazy, and I had a gang of new music that I wanted to like test out on the crowd.
Right,
I found some of my best songs. Big Dog. Hey, the crowd ate that shit up. I was like, oh nigga, we got one. I was like, but just the energy behind that, Hippie Sabotage showed me a lot of love on that tour and shit. But the energy at those shows was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it was like a moment, confirmation type shit. You feel me? I've been on a fucking million different stages. But like certain times, I just like I see the crowd really fucking with it. I'm like, yo, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, nigga got a day job. You know what I'm saying? Nigga owns some shit. I got 2 day jobs right now. I don't give a fuck, but I know what I'm meant to do. Right. And that's how it's going to end. It's just a matter of time. You feel me?
That's what's
nigga got to put in the work.
No doubt.
Got to have that good gritty story to get there. Everybody who there got that story. You feel me?
Yes. Well, bro, the work that you've done thus far, man, I think is great. I'm excited to see what's coming next. And I encourage people, man, to go back and check out the catalog, man, because if you about to drop something new and just the way that you've described it, I think it's cool to kind of see that to see that growth of you as an artist. I think it also obviously will show your growth as a man. So the easiest way for people to do that, for people to check out your catalog.
Yeah, StevoTheWeirdo.com. Whether you listen to whatever, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, all them joints, I'm on all that stuff. But if you want to hear probably every single song I've ever put out, you got to go to SoundCloud. SoundCloud probably has every single thing I've ever put out on wax.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah. That's the easiest place to find it. You want the videos, every video, Stevo The Weirdo. I'm on YouTube. Like I said, at my website, it's a button. All you gotta do is click the button. It'll take you wherever you want to go.
Okay.
Boop, boop.
Okay. All right. And then hopefully y'all caught the gem that Steve will try. I got to go do my homework. There's some other material out there. You know what I'm saying, that we all need to go check out now. I got to really go and do my homework. Bro, man, like this is dope, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me.
Come on.
I remember the last time. Remember when I was supposed to come through?
That was a situation.
That
was a situation. We need to talk about that when I turn the microphones off.
Yeah,
that was a situation.
Crazy.
Yeah, but bro, like I said, you've always been so so cool with me, and I definitely appreciate that. And it's things like that. Aside from being a good artist, you're a good dude, man. And so I want to continue to use whatever platforms I have to help promote and support that, man. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, bro, for real.
For sure. I'm glad to know that the project's done. I'm looking forward to it dropping in January. And I just want to say thank you ahead of time on the microphone in front of millions and millions of people, how much I appreciate the fact that you made radio edits for this project that you're about to drop.
Yo, I got you.
Okay, all right.
I got you. All right, I'm getting better with it, man. I'm getting better. Hey, yo, bro, I remember there being a time I used to be fucking with Zeb or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I'm a wordplay kind of motherfucker. Yeah. And there was a song that I said nigga like bro, it was in this small time frame, like within 10 seconds. It was just like, I'm the nigga, that nigga's listen, some shit like that.
Yeah.
And we had to make a radio edit for that song. Oh, it was the funniest
Zeb
shit.
Must have been hating you, bro. Zeb must have been hating you.
Zeb be like, really, bro, this song. I'd be like, come on, man, Zeb, I love you, bro. That's my guy.
Zeb is cool. Yo, if y'all haven't heard the Zebulon Dak episode of the Klyph Notes podcast, you definitely got to go listen to that one.
Do that.
That's a good dude. For real.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, bro. Once again, man, I appreciate this. I'm so grateful to have you, as a part of the collection of interviews that I've had an opportunity to do, man. This means a lot, man.
For sure, man. I appreciate you having me, man. This shit has been dope. We got to do this shit
Yeah,
more often. Like,
absolutely, man. And then you know the open invitation to the radio show, Welcome to the Neighborhood. So as soon as you're ready to to come back through, you just say the word, homie.
I want to come back through and do some rapping next time too.
Yo, come on now, be careful.
Do that shit.
I'm gonna hold you up to that.
Hey, nigga, hold me up to it tomorrow, nigga. I'm ready to record, nigga. It's whatever.
Yo, this is Stevo The Weirdo, man. Once again, check out the Klyph Notes podcast everywhere you listen to your podcast: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. You can check us out at klyphnotes.com. You can also check us out on the X-Ray FM Podcast Network. Definitely subscribe to the podcast, share it with all your family and friends, rate, comment, all of the above.
All of it.
One more time, man, I got to give some shout out to my folk at X-Ray FM for being gracious hosts of the recording of the Klyph Notes podcast. You know how we do.
Thank you, X-Ray.
Check out acapella.com, AKEPELE, for their continued support of the Klyph Notes podcast. Last and never, ever, ever least, big ups to the homie, Theory Has It, for creating the official theme song to the Klyph Notes podcast. All right, y'all. Once again, thank y'all so much for checking us out, man. Until we have an opportunity to do this again, y'all be blessed. Peace.